guys. We are on chapter 8 of Amelia Bedelia, and today it's called Amelia Bedelia's Last Stand. So remember, we ended chapter 7. She just finished her lemonade stand, and everybody was really surprised. Even the news reporters were there at Wild Bill's auto place. The next day, Amelia Bedelia waited until just before lunchtime to open for business. She figured that by then people would be hot and thirsty and bored enough to want a glass of lemonade. Her parents came along to help. Her dad set up her lemonade stand while her mom unfolded the sign. They attached it to the bottom of the sign for Wild Bill's Auto Rama. Looking good, said her dad. Terrific name, said her mom. It's perfect, said Amelia Bedelia. I squeeze a whole lemon into every glass. That's a lot. And here I'll show you her sign. It's called Lots of Lemons, handmade lemonade. Look at the size of it. Amelia Bedelia was very proud of her sign. She admired it while her dad set up chairs in front of the stand. Thanks, Daddy, said Amelia Bedelia. Now my customers won't have to stand. This is more like a lemonade sit than a stand. Her father kept checking his watch. I have a surprise for you, he said. I called the television station and I told them about your business. They thought it was so cute. They're sending their news team to interview you. Amelia Bedelia jumped up and down and clapped her hands. Really? Will they make a commercial of me? No, probably not, said her dad. You'll be a story on the news at noon. That's way better than a commercial. It's the real deal. Dad and I are going inside to look at the cars for a few minutes, her mom said. We'll send some customers out here for you. Thanks, said Amelia Bedelia. I'll get ready. She cut the lemons in half and put them in a big bowl ready to squeeze. Then she arranged the cups of ice, and a few minutes later, a van from the Action News team pulled up. They were her first customers. A reporter and a cameraman walked over to the stand and introduced themselves to Amelia Bedelia. As she talked with them about her business, she made them each some lemonade. And here's the truck pulling up. The cameraman started shooting the scene, and while the reporter began interviewing Amelia Bedelia. To truly appreciate what happened next, you'd have to have seen it on TV. Down at Pete's diner, Pete and Doris always turned on the news at noon for their lunch crowd. Here is what they saw. Ted Daly here, news at noon, right outside Wild Bill's Autorama, where another business is having its grand opening, an old fashioned lemonade stand run by this young lady. Hey, that's Amelia Bedelia, said Pete. A policeman who was having pie and coffee at the counter looked up and said, Do you know her, Pete? I had a run with her in the park. Pete nodded at the officer. Officer O'Brien, be glad Doris served you that cherry pie that you're eating and not that little girl. They looked back at the TV, and Ted Daly told the viewers how Amelia Bedelia made her lemonade while the cameraman shot a close up. Amelia Bedelia makes every glass by hand. Just lemon juice, cool water, ice, and a bit of sugar, said Ted Daly. Amelia Bedelia handed Ted Daly the glass of lemonade. I used one lemon in each glass, she said. That's a lot, but it tastes better. It's why I call my business Lots of Lemons. And here she is, giving the reporter some lemonade. And there she is showing off her sign. As Amelia Bedelia pointed at the sign, behind her the camera pulled back so people watching on television could also see the sign for Wild Bill's Autorama. You folks at home, take it from me, Ted Daly. Amelia Bedelia's lemonade may be a sweeter deal than you'll get at Wild Bill's Autorama. Amelia Bedelia was thrilled. Her dad was right. Being on the news was great, and her lemonade was going to be famous. And maybe, just maybe, she would make enough money to buy half of a new bike. That's when the camera began to jiggle up and down. The cameraman could not hold it steady because he was laughing so hard. Back at the diner, Pete said, "It looks like an earthquake going on down there at Wild Bill's." Doris covered her mouth with her hand and gasped, "Gracious! Amelia Bedelia's sign makes Wild Bill's cars look like lemons." Pete shut his eyes and just shook his head. So if a car is a lemon, it means it's no good. There's lots of things wrong with it. So take a look up here at the picture. It says lots of lemons, and then you can see Pete there. So it's making it look like all of these cars are lemons, and that's not a good thing to buy a car that's called a lemon. Back at Wild Bill's, Ted Daly turned around to see what was so funny. He looked at Amelia Bedelia's sign and he doubled over in laughter. Then Wild Bill himself came out to see what was going on. Amelia Bedelia was so impressed to see him in person. He was a real celebrity. "Howdy, fellas," said Wild Bill. "What can I do for you? Are you in the market for a new car?" Ted and his cameraman tried not to laugh, but that just made it worse. "What's so funny, fellas?" said Bill. Ted pointed to Amelia Bedelia's sign. He was laughing so hard he could barely stand up. "Lots of lemons," Bill read out loud. "That's a sweet idea on a hot day like this." Then the joke dawned on him. He realized what it said. "Lots of lemons?" he questioned. "Lots of lemons? I don't sell lemons," he shouted. "My cars are the best. My cars are not lemons." "Oh, of course not," said Amelia Bedelia. "Cars are cars and lemons are lemons." And she handed him a glass of her lemonade. "Here you go, my treat." "I'm not going to stand for this," he shouted. "You don't have to," said Amelia Bedelia. "Have a seat. That's why I have chairs with me." Wild Bill bent down to look at Amelia Bedelia eye to eye. "Little lady," he said, "are you mocking me with your lemonade?" He's looking a little angry. This is a big picture. Let me see if I can get it in there. He's like jumping up and down, stomping his feet. "Oh, no, sir, you're famous," said Amelia Bedelia. She pointed at the TV camera. "Everyone knows it." Wild Bill looked straight into the camera. "Is that thing on?" he asked. His face turned from white as a ghost to red and then white again. He strode across towards the camera, took off his cowboy hat, and used his 10-gallon hat to cover the camera lens. Television screens all over the world went dark. So if I was to take my hand and put it up here, I would go dark. That's what he did. Back at the diner, Doris and Pete and the policeman stared up at the blank television screen. "Be glad you're not Amelia Bedelia right now," Doris said to Pete. Oh, poor Amelia Bedelia. We'll find out what happens tomorrow in chapter 9.